This week on Fireside News, a masked menace is terrorizing Boise, Idaho, but not with violence, with unsolicited booty slaps and a dirt bike getaway that makes Ghost from Call of Duty look like a mall cop. Plus, Ozzy Osbourne just raised $190 million for charity while seated on a throne that looks like a Halloween prop from hell, and someone named their baby Vaselina. Yeah, like the ointment. If that doesn't scream America 2025, I don't know what does. So grab a seat and maybe a helmet because the ride is slippery, wild, and very much not FDA approved. Let's get into it. Welcome to Idaho, where the potatoes are chill, but the cheeks are not. There's an actual serial butt slapper on the loose in Boise, Idaho. Cops say the guy's been cruising around on a dirt bike, masked up like he's heading into battle. But instead of fighting crime, he's sneak attacking butts. Multiple women have reported it over the last month. June 18th to July 3rd, the guy rides up behind someone, smacks or grabs a booty, and then vanishes into the wind like some kind of perverted Batman on a Kawasaki. Descriptions say he's wearing all black with gloves and a ski mask, possibly Venom, possibly Ghost from Call of Duty, possibly just someone who'll still shop at Hot Topic if he wanted to. And there's surveillance footage too, but his face is fully covered and the image is blurry, so basically the same quality as every Bigfoot sighting since 1974. Cops are asking for help identifying the guy. This is the wildest crossover we could have ever asked for. Jackass meets America's Most Wanted meets Dukes of Hazzard Misconduct Edition. Stay alert and your cheeks clenched. Ozzy Osbourne just raised $190 million for charity and did it while seated on a bat-winged throne because, of course he did. The final Black Sabbath show, Back to the Beginning, officially became the highest-grossing charity concert of all time, pulling in over $190 million. That's more than Live Aid, more than Farm Aid, and more than a week of Taylor Swift reschedules. This concert was a mic drop from hell with a donation bucket attached. The money's getting split evenly between three children's charities: Birmingham Children's Hospital, Acorn Children's Hospice, and Cure Parkinson's. Which means somehow the guy who once snorted ants with Motley Crue is now out here funding pediatric care like a rock and roll Robin Hood. Let's also take a moment to remember this man is 75. He closed out his legacy from a throne that looked like it was designed by a metal-loving Disney villain. The concert had surprise guests, wall-to-wall legends, and raised the bar for what a farewell should look like. Spoiler alert, it's not a sad acoustic set in a stool. It's fire, it's volume, and a crown of chaos. So, the next time someone tells you metal doesn't give back, remind them Ozzy just dropped nearly $200 million on kids and still managed to make it look like a Halloween ritual. A woman has gone viral for naming her newborn daughter Vaselina. That's not a typo, that's not a TikTok prank. That is apparently a sincere attempt at elegance. Her reasoning? She wanted the kid to have a Nia sound at the end of their name. Because clearly nothing says grace and femininity like sounding like a bottle of skin lube. She said her second choice was Serena, but nah, she went with Vaselina because it sounds more elegant. You know, like a queen from a medieval court made entirely of moisturizer. And it gets better too. Her cousin texted her a picture of a bottle of Vaseline and asked, like this? And she replied, yes, with a triple S. She's proud of it. Like this was some baby name gold she just unearthed. And look, there are some weird names out there. Apple, Moon Unit, Zappa, but at least those don't make you think of dry eyebrows and lip balm. This poor kid's future is already written, and it includes years of roll call nightmares, endless jokes about slipperiness, and a therapist named Susan who's gonna hear the full story someday. But hey, at least it wasn't her third choice, Neosporin. If you thought politics couldn't get any more absurd, President Trump just tried to banish Rosie O'Donnell from America again, apparently. He's reignited his decades-old feud with Rosie by threatening to revoke her U.S. citizenship because she moved to Ireland earlier this year. Rosie fired back like it was 2006, calling Trump a soulless man with dementia and posting a poem that could double as an Eminem diss track. It says, quote, 18 years later and I still live rent-free in that collapsing brain of yours. Trump's reason? He says Rosie's a threat to humanity and, quote, not in the best interests of our great country, which is rich coming from a guy whose bestie list includes Kanye and Kid Rock. And let's not ignore the conspiracy crowd who thinks the whole thing is just a smokescreen for the alleged Epstein documents. But sure, let's spend a news cycle on a 61-year-old comedian and a 78-year-old president dunking on each other like it's a middle school food fight. America, home of the free, land of the petty. Ahmed Best, the actor who played Jar Jar Binks, just dropped a truth bomb in a new Star Wars documentary. The hate he got back in '99 nearly cost him his life. When The Phantom Menace hit theaters, the internet lit him up like a Christmas tree made of middle-aged nerd rage. And at just 26, Ahmed found himself standing on the edge of the Brooklyn Bridge, blaming himself for everything. He said, "I'll show them what they did to me," and he almost let go until a gust of wind shoved him back into reality. That moment of fear, that's what saved him. He realized he didn't want to die. He wanted to live. These days, we talk a lot about mental health, but stories like this remind you, because it's not just words on a screen. Behind every so-called bad character is a real person who didn't ask to become the internet's punching bag. So yeah, maybe ease up on the hate tweets and fan forums. Not every opinion needs to be a death sentence. From the Grand Ole Opry to body slams, Jelly Roll is heading to SummerSlam. And no, it's not Mad Libs. It all started on WWE SmackDown, where Jelly was performing his #1 hit Liar. Then Logan Paul strutted out and basically said, "It's my house, Jelly boy." Yeah, he accused Jelly of being a clout chaser who doesn't belong in the ring, which is hilarious considering Logan is literally the poster boy for influencer turned wrestler energy. This thing went full soap opera. Randy Orton showed up, Drew McIntyre jumped in, somebody trashed Jelly's gear, and now we got a tag team match set for August 2nd. Jelly Roll and Randy Orton versus Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre. I don't know what's more WWE, the storyline or the fact that Logan Paul's still somehow the bad guy despite being really good at this. And at this point, I'm just hoping Jelly Roll powerbombs someone through a bar stool. Just when you thought we've run out of weird life hacks, science hit us with this one. Cover your windows in yogurt. Greek yogurt. Full fat. You just paint it on the outside like you're decorating a dairy crime scene. A researcher in the UK says the gooey solution reflects sunlight and can keep your house over 6 degrees cooler. Apparently it doesn't smell, unless you stick your face in it during the 30 seconds it takes to dry. It's cheap, effective, and doesn't even look that bad, like a poor man's frosted glass. Best part, it doesn't attract bugs. Worst part, it washes off in the rain. So maybe don't yogurt your windows if you live in Seattle, all right? Look, you could go with tinfoil if you want to be boring, but if you want to make your neighbors think you're running a probiotic cult out of your living room, here's your moment. Let's talk about Floyd DeVaser. A 63-year-old Texan who rented a fishing boat in Florida last week, pointed it south and just went to Cuba. No passport, no plan, just full throttle like he was auditioning for Narcos Retirement Edition. The boat was supposed to be returned in 2 days, but instead it ghosted the marina. The GPS cut out 30 miles offshore. A random boater spotted him hauling ass towards Havana, and sure enough, the Cuban Coast Guard picked him up. Here's the kicker. This isn't Floyd's first Cuba run. He did the exact same thing in 2019. Like, sir, if you need to defect that bad, at least buy a boat. Buy your own boat. Now he's facing fraud charges, and the boat is still in Cuba, probably smoking cigars and questioning its choices. Moral of the story, Florida man remains undefeated, and rental insurance probably doesn't cover international piracy. If you needed one more reason to stay away from haunted dolls, here you go. A 54-year-old paranormal investigator died unexpectedly while accompanying the real Annabelle doll on a national tour. And before you picture some porcelain nightmare, the real Annabelle is actually just a Raggedy Ann doll. Yeah, I know, your childhood's ruined, right? The guy's name was Dan Rivera, and he was doing a 3-day stop with Annabelle in Gettysburg. After the third night, he passed away unexpectedly. Now, the group behind the tour paid tribute, but they very carefully avoided blaming the doll. But still, come on. You tour the country with the doll that allegedly tried to kill priests, and then your heart just gives out in Gettysburg? I've seen that horror movie before. I'm pretty sure it ends with the priest getting tossed out a stained glass window. The new Superman movie didn't just save the box office, it might be saving dogs too. Since the movie dropped, Google searches for adopt a dog near me have jumped by 513%. That's not a typo. 513%. Why? Because Crypto, Superman's CGI sidekick, modeled after director James Gunn's real rescue pup, Ozzy. And apparently people left the theater and immediately tried to adopt every schnauzer they could find because, well, Crypto kind of looks like one. Gunn said the movie's been a barrage of blessings, but the dog boom might be the best one yet. And here's the kicker. Ozu has no idea he's a national hero. He's probably just wondering why people keep trying to take his picture at the dog park. The Fyre Festival, the scam's so big it birthed 2 documentaries and 0 actual music, just sold on eBay for $245,000. That's right, someone out there now legally owns the rights to launch another flaming dumpster fire in the Bahamas. Billy McFarland, fresh out of prison, still owing over $20 million, live streamed the auction and even said, "Damn, this sucks, it's so low." Which honestly is the most self-aware thing he's ever said. Nobody knows who bought it, but you can guarantee this person either really loves memes or really hates investors. You know what? If we get Fyre Festival 2 Electric Boogaloo out of this, I'm going to bring the cheese sandwiches. TikTok is on fire with one question. What's the most awkward place you've run into a student or a teacher? And the answers are pretty wild. One teacher said she was working at a topless bar and saw a student's dad at last call. Then again, a school drop-off at 6 a.m. Another said a student popped their head under the bathroom stall at Walmart and said, "Hi, Mrs. Ware. I saw your shoes." Then there's the poor soul getting a bikini wax when her text says, "Hey, thanks to you, I'm doing great in math." My personal favorite, a guy gearing up for a colonoscopy hearing, "Hey, Mr. K, you're my favorite teacher." And he just goes, "Thanks. Enjoy the view." That should be a fun story for the upcoming class reunion. In today's edition of Dumbest Criminals on Earth, I want to present Misty, the burglar with a social media conscience. A woman in Texas was on vacation when someone broke into her house, so she posted a pic of the thief on Facebook and wrote, "Anybody know who this trash is?" Well, Misty saw the post and she said, "Hey, just because I broke in and stole some stuff doesn't mean I'm trash. You don't even know me." Oh, but she does now, Misty. Cops haven't caught her yet, but the comment included the words "broke in and stole some stuff." That's what we call a confession, people. If you're going to break the law, maybe don't also hit comment. And don't get your mom involved either. She got in on the comments trying to stick up for her. America's Most Wanted. Thanks to Facebook comments. If that made you laugh, rage, or question reality, then good. You're exactly our kind of people. Like and subscribe to keep this chaotic train on the tracks. And remember, the cheapest way to support the channel? Drop a comment. Even just a smiley face will help feed the algorithm gods. Fireside News airs every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, same time, same sass, every week. I'll see you next week.